All right, we are now recording and live.
Good morning, everyone. It is 10:03 a.m. and this meeting of the California Agricultural Labor Relations Board is now called to order. I will first go through the roll. Board Member Broad.
Present.
Do we have Board Member Flores?
Not at the moment.
And Board Member Hall?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Board Member Lightstone?
Present.
Present. Chair also present. Next, we'll move to approval of the most recent meeting minutes from April 30th. May I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Thank you.
Second.
Board Member Broad seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
For the chair's report, it shall be very brief, but we have some wonderful highlights. The month of May has been very good to us. One, I want to welcome our new board counsel, Tom Barnes, who started with us last week. This is his first meeting, so welcome. We're very excited to have you join us from DC area, and yeah, excited to work with you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Last week, I had the honor to go through the Senate confirmation process and made it out of the committee 3-2. Thank you for all of our staff members and my colleagues on the board for your support. It was a really wonderful day. Coming up this week, next week, we have the ALRA at 50 celebration on Thursday, May 22nd for our staff. We'll be working with you. If for some reason your plans have changed, please let Michaela and the organizers know so we can make sure we have an accurate head count, but it should be a wonderful day. So excited for that. That concludes the chair's report. Next, I'll move on to the executive officer's report on elections, unfair labor practice complaints, and hearings.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Hasid and members of the board. I don't have a written report today as it's just an update of previously reported items, which include Betterelvia Farms, which was formerly reported to have been a complaint that was settled. On May 2nd, the General Counsel filed their motion to take off calendar. On May 5th, the adjudication unit issued its order granting the request and holding the matter in abeyance until either the complaint is withdrawn or further action by the charging party, respondent, or the General Counsel. Turning to my next update and CYMA Orchids Corporation, it's a matter pending before the board. Briefing is now complete as of yesterday, May 13, with the General Counsel's reply that was filed and distributed to the board late yesterday during the evening. And then finally, Wonderful Nurseries is also pending before the board. That doesn't have an update, just noting that it is pending action before the board on various interim appeals regarding rulings relating to the attorney-client privilege and attorney work product claims. That concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Santiago. I don't believe we have any questions. Next, I'll check.
Oh, and sorry, board member Flores has arrived. Let me promote her to panelist so that you can see and hear her.
Thank you. And let the record reflect board member Flores' presence. Good to see you, member Flores.
Good to see you. Sorry, I was having connectivity issues, but happy to be here.
Good to see you. No problem. Okay, we will check to see. Do we have a litigation update?
A couple of brief things. Good morning. So in the Wonderful Nurseries versus ALRB matter in Federal District Court for the Eastern District of California, that's case number 1:24-CV-01601-KES-CDB. The board filed its reply to Wonderful's opposition to the board's motion to dismiss the complaint in that matter on May 8th. So that matter is now fully briefed. I don't know when the hearing on that is scheduled, but we should know that soon. And then in the Olive Hill Greenhouses, Inc. and Western Growers Association versus ALRB, this is the matter in Federal District Court of the Southern District of California. That's case number 25 CV 0815 CAB BLM. So on April 24th, the plaintiffs filed a motion for preliminary injunction. The ALRB's response to that's due tomorrow, so I expect we should see a draft any minute now on that for our review. And then a few other things happened in the background. On May 1st, UFW filed a motion to intervene in that matter. Our DAG team informed the parties that the board takes no position on the intervention. And then on May 5th, the court issued an order directing Western growers and Olive Hill to explain by May 12th why transfer to the Eastern District of California, where the wonderful case is not appropriate. The board, so they should have filed that by now. The board gets a chance to respond to whatever they filed on May 19th. So more information to come on that. And then the response to the complaint itself is due on June 9th. And that is all I have.
All right. We will keep trucking along. Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, thank you. Next, we'll go to our general counsel's report with General Counsel Julie Montgomery.
Good morning, all, and congratulations, Chair, on your
Thank you.
nomination vote. One settlement to report for Betteravia Farms LLC and Santa Maria Harvesting. And that was case number 2023 CE014-SAL. And this case involved a cauliflower harvester in Santa Barbara County who filed an unfair labor practice charge in April of 2023, claiming that Betteravia Farms retaliated against him and other workers by not addressing workplace concerns relating to unjust treatment from their foreman, who was pressuring them to work faster, refusing to provide required equipment. And the charging party also alleged being terminated in February 2023 because he spoke up on behalf of himself and others about workplace concerns. So the general counsel program investigated, found cause to the violation occurred and filed a complaint on December 30th, 2024. The ALRB charging party and the respondent reached an informal bilateral settlement agreement in which Betteravia Farms agreed to pay the charging party full amount back wages of $12,500 and to allow ALRB agents to conduct supervisor training and as well as the standard noticing remedies. And that settlement was fully executed on May 8th. It was just last week. And then just turning to a little few outreach highlights. May, first part of May has been pretty busy for our regional staff and outreach team. There were a number of events for around like May Day or National Workers' Day on May 1st. There were some events with the Mexican consulate that our staff attended, including in Calexico and Imperial County, and mobile clinic in Kern County and Bakersfield. We had staff at food distribution in Arvin and Kern County. They provided an in-person worker training to MyCock in Oxnard, Ventura County. Staff also went to a spring resource fair hosted by Assemblywoman Soria's office in San Joaquin and Fresno County. And they did outreach there and distributed information about the ALRB and spoke with people. Our staff also provided a training presentation to workers from Taft and McFarland in Kern County, and that was hosted by a nonprofit Faith in the Valley. And our staff in the Central Coast also attended a Oaxacan Community Shed event in Watsonville, which is Santa Cruz County. And they provided an in-person training and Q&A panel with the Labor Commissioner's Office hosted by Cause's Labor Month of Action. And I'm assuming that was probably in the Santa Maria area, given that's where Cause is based. And they also attended another spring resource fair with Assemblywoman Soria's office in Huron and Fresno County. And participated in a wage clinic hosted by the Labor Commissioner's Office, My Cause, at St. Peter's Episcopal Church. Oh, that's coming up, I'm sorry, that was yesterday. So they have done that. That was it, yeah, in the city of Santa Maria. And then finally, we have staff continuing to do office hours with the Comité Unida Popular Benito Juarez office in Lamont, which is in Kern County. So that's just our effort to bring services and resources out to some of the more outlying areas that are further away from our offices. And there are quite a number of events on this list, but there's just a few highlights.
Wonderful. Awesome. Thank you. Any questions or comments from our colleagues? Okay, next, I don't believe we have a Division of Administrative Services report. I will turn now to legislation with Michaela. Michaela?
Hello, everyone, and Chair Hasid, happy to be here today. I have just a few updates. We are in the appropriations time of the year, so it's the yay or nay season. So AB 288 from McKinnon has been referred to the suspense file. That is sort of referred to the bill as Super PERB, where PERB would take over some NLRB duties within California if they chose not to prosecute cases. That's on suspense. AB 552 is still in Assembly Appropriations, which discusses possible temporary move of ALRB headquarters. AB 845 from Arambula has been referred to the suspense file on May 7th. And that refers to codifying a portion of the Rural Strategic Engagement Plan, which I believe the DC side is very engaged with. So we're very interested in following that. The most interesting change is AB 1109, which is the Gonzalez and Culra bill with the organizer and represented employee privilege. And that has been passed through to the Senate on the 13th. And it has gone for its first reading in the Senate. So we will continue to track that. AB 1300 still remains a 2-year bill. I'll probably strike that from the tracker. And then SB 470 from Laird is our Bagley-Keene reform bill, and that is on its 3rd read at the Senate floor, so we're hoping that will pass through. And then SB 846 from McNerney, which regards the ag lien and the removal of the limited private partnership clause on that section of the labor code, has been ordered to the consent calendar on the 8th of May. So that is all the news fit to print on legislation. I will turn it back to the chair.
Awesome. Thank you, Michaela. Thank you for working on all that. We do not have a regulatory update. Our next agenda item is public comment. For those who reached out ahead of the meeting to make a public comment, we will call on you first. For those that wish to make a public comment now, we welcome you to do so. You can let us know you wish to comment in one of several ways. You can email Satya or Santiago, and their emails are on the meeting agenda, or you can use the raise hand feature in Zoom, or I believe message through the chat. Please know that the messages only go to our staff. So we ask that you not provide any substantive comment in the chat. Please provide your name and organization if applicable. And I ask that others mute their devices so we can have good audio. And lastly, the board may not discuss, hear, comment on, or respond to any questions on pending case matters. So with that, I'll turn it over to Santiago. Do we have anyone wishing to make public comment?
No, no one is in the queue. I'll ask that our attendees indicate if they wish to make public comment at this time by using the chat feature, as I don't believe that the raise hand feature will work for the attendees. However, if it does, please do so. No one's indicating a desire to provide public comment at this time.
Okay, great. We will slowly walk then to recessing into closed session, and when the board comes back, we will give the announcements and adjourn. So thank you, everyone. The board is now closed.
On recording.
Good morning. The board, it is 11:08 a.m. and the board has returned from closed session. Let the record reflect, Member Hall did join our meeting. He was having some technical issues. But he should be marked for purposes of the meeting minutes. Our next agenda item is announcements. Our next board meeting is Wednesday, May 28th at 10 a.m. It'll be online and in person here in Sacramento. And that concludes today's meeting. It is 11:09 and we are now adjourned. Thank you. Bye.